Tell us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest was spectacular. Definitely one for the record books. UC Security sent an armada after our little fleet of ships and picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For our listeners' benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Voli that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
You see, that's what they'd have you believe, but the truth is much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but UC Security unleashed hell. The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway, they took us in and tossed us into the lock. That lovely resort they opened on Suvorov.
And you were imprisoned there for how long?
Well, it was supposed to be for life, Gail. But I ended up serving 2 years before I decided I'd had enough.
Is there any particular reason that you started the riots that eventually led to the worst prison break in United Colonies history?
Yes. I'm quite proud of that, actually. I honestly didn't think it would go as well as it did. As for the reason, well, it's simple. The UC were treating us like animals. The conditions in the lock were ridiculously bad and no one cared. That's why they stuck us on that ice ball in the first place. Out of sight, out of mind.
Your escape caused the deaths of many that were stationed at the lock. Some would brand that as a bit dismissive for what you're describing as a protest. If you were simply advocating for your fellow inmates, why didn't you just go through the proper channels?
And what the hell was I supposed to do? Send a strongly worded letter to my duly appointed representative? Wake up. The UC only responds to actions, not words. In my mind, there was no other choice. You know what? Let's move past my time at the lock so we can get to the point of this goddamned interview.
It's good to be back on board.
I picked up something you might be interested in. We have a clean dock, right on the money.
Howdy. One thing I'll say about Petrosian, he keeps us.
Some of the guards don't take kindly to the prisoners, but we should try to maintain some decorum. So it's true. All my life I've been led to believe the guards on the lock were heroes. But there was part of me that always doubted the story. Even as a child learning about the history from the slates. Thank you for bringing me this. I get that Crix is about as unreliable a witness as they come, but I believe him. Because it isn't just any history. It's my family's. If you open up a history slate and look up the name Garo Petrosian, you'll find a hero decorated in medals. Medals he earned for escaping the riots on Suvorov. My great-grandfather, to be exact. He lived until the year 2297, 10 years after I was born. For helping his fellow guards escape the riots. And maybe that part is true, but it conveniently skips everything that happened before that point. No one ever asks what prompted the riots. It was just criminals being criminals, and that was explanation enough. It's been almost a century, so that doesn't surprise me. But in some circles, it carries weight. The thing is, even as my family rode the coattails of our name, I always felt like something wasn't right about the story. And it always came back to that day in the yard, playing games with my brother. It's the only memory I have of my great-grandfather that sticks. I'd like to say no, but how can that be true? Pursuing a military career, the name could only help. It was about a week before he passed. Me and my brother had the house to ourselves and were playing a game we called Prisoner's Run. It was a simple game. We drew a line in the dirt, and the object was for the guard to keep the prisoner from crossing it. But on that day, my brother came to the yard with an added surprise. He found a chest in the attic, filled with goodies, a baton, a uniform, and a medal to serve as prize for the winner. Indeed, but as boys, we didn't connect the dots. After all, why would something so precious be stuffed in the attic? But when our family returned, I knew something was wrong. My great-grandfather didn't say a word, but behind his eyes I could see it. The shame. No one said anything to either of us. But the next day, the uniform and the medal were gone. At the time, I never understood why he kept those things buried in the attic. Now, it all seems so clear. I appreciate the kind words. I suppose that's the lesson I need to take from this, even though right now, it's hard to feel anything but shame. Either way, thanks for talking this through with me. I don't know if I'll ever know what really happened on Suvorov, but at least now, I have something beyond the family myth.
Recycled air. Just isn't the same as the real thing.
Do you need something? What did you need? I have something I wanted to say. But I confess I am afraid of how you will react. I am reluctant to put that to the test. But it is necessary that we are honest with each other. I know that you said you prefer to be surrounded by others, unlike me. But Constellation means something to us both. And I must be honest about why. The little I have spoken of my history has been nothing but truth. I worked with smugglers. I have caused my share of pain and suffering. What I have left out, until now, is that all of that was done on behalf of House Va'ruun. My people. My family. They have retreated from open relations with the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective, but they still exist. I was born in the great city of Dazra, and raised with the teachings of Jinan Va'ruun. I underwent the rite of Krejar when I came of age. I am of the promised, those who know the truth of the Great Serpent and his inevitable return. Your ability to find the humor in a situation is remarkable. No, I will not kill you for knowing, but you must understand that this is privileged information. Several years ago, I intercepted requests from Constellation to access Va'ruun's space, speaking only of exploration. I was sent to infiltrate Constellation, posing as a former smuggler looking for a new purpose in life. Yes, well, you were not the only one. Several weeks after I arrived, I attempted to access secure records within Constellation's archives. Vladimir and Sarah were waiting for me. Quite an understatement. I was horrified. My failure would be reported to the High Council, and the penalty would be severe. The history of Constellation, where expeditions are sent, data on star systems House Va'ruun has not explored, some information on their members and goals. As you have seen, there is relatively little that would be considered classified. They do not. I have, for now, kept that information to myself. You and I have spent so much time together. It has been increasingly difficult to keep this from you. And I am sorry for that. Telling you this violates so many of the orders I was given. But it was the right thing to do. I can feel that. You have no idea what a relief that is. Thank you for trusting me.
Indicators are green. We're free.
Drive spinning down. Systems green.
Mind if we stop by the waterfall on this trip? I could use a few moments to unwind.
The work done?
Ah, if it isn't my favorite part-time security officer. Crime has slowed down since you started helping out, which is good for morale. The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. If I'm being honest, I still have nightmares of my team turning on one another. Things can be replaced and wounds can be healed, but building back that trust in each other is going to take time. Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new recruits who were inspired by what you did. I've got faith we'll survive this. I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport is up and running again, which is good for commerce, but also for smugglers. We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis through the spaceport, and we need to investigate. Well, technology-wise, criminals have always been one step ahead. No different now than it was centuries ago. Smugglers often have a fancy shielding or scan jammers that allow them to evade the checks. But luckily, we can still use old-fashioned detective work to track these criminals down. Great. First, speak to one of the technicians over by landing pad B. Ask them if they've noticed any suspicious activity. Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony with ship records over at Aegis. When you're done, report back to me with your findings. There should be a few working on the landing pads. If they don't know anything, move on to another. Right now, we don't have any good leads. But if anyone's seen anything, it will give us something to go on. Remember that job you did for Agent Plato? I finally had a reason to call in that favor he owes us. I asked him to pull the names and cargo of every potential smuggling ship that docked in the last month. He said he'll have a slate ready for you to examine. See you later.
We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course. I have an important personal decision to make, but I need to discuss something with you first. No, not at all. This is something that's been weighing on my mind for a long time. I was hoping if I talked about it with you, I could get your opinion. That's all. Phew, thank you. So, where to start? Before I was with the Navigator Corps, I was career military, part of the United Colonies Navy. When the Colony War broke out, I was posted as the chief navigator on a warship, the Dauntless. In my case, I was third in command, which has a lot to do with the story. There was a particularly bloody battle. We were fighting over a world in the Eta Cassiopeia system. Worst fighting I'd ever seen. We lost 12 ships that day. 12. Including my own. Economic reasons. Several of the worlds in the Cassiopeia system were mineral rich. Both sides wanted to drop refinery outposts on the surface to bolster their supply. No. This is important. I need to tell you this. The ship was barely intact. The captain and first mate died the previous day, which put me in command. A shrewd captain would have called for the crew to abandon ship, but I was so angry. I wanted to stay. I needed to fight. The Dauntless was a tough little ship. No shields and the hull was breached, but it still had power. And weapons. That's why I remained in the battle. Huge mistake. Well, I didn't have the luxury of indecision. I had to act. We fought for hours, but the damage was fatal. I gave the order to abandon ship and the crew piled into the escape shuttle. As the shuttle launched, I could see it was damaged. I heard screams before the radio cut. And last thing I saw, they were spiraling helplessly towards the planet's surface. There was nothing I could do. The ship barely had enough power for comms and life support. All I could do was watch them die. It was my duty as acting captain to be the last person to leave the Dauntless. We had more than one escape shuttle available. So, I elected to wait until they were safe. You're sorry. For me, if I hadn't been so stubborn, so eager to prove that I could handle command, my crew would have had more time to escape. My superiors. When the dust settled, the United Colonies gave me a medal. Can you believe that? A damn medal. I never even had a chance to find the shuttle wreckage and give my crew a proper burial. After I checked every section of the ship for wounded crew, I took the other escape shuttle. If I hadn't, I would have died. The Dauntless came apart minutes after I escaped. Bad luck. That sounds familiar. Remember when you said no one but me would have pushed harder to keep the Navigator core going? Well, this time, pushing too hard cost lives. Don't you get it? Everything I do, everything I touch, somehow falls apart. That's why I'm worried about us. Look, it's clear the two of us are becoming more than partners. We're becoming close friends. Even though I've pushed people away in the past, I feel different when I'm around you. I feel safer, comfortable, not afraid to admit who I am. I'm terrified I'm going to screw that up. All this nonsense and you still have faith, eh? You really care about me, don't you? I'm counting on that. Look, I think I've said all I can handle for now. Thank you for being there, for listening to me when I needed it the most. I'll never forget this. I promise. Please tell me you're not going to make us run the Red Mile.
I don't make chit-chat with patrons.
Oh, just the thought of landing at the Red Mile was making me sick. Now that we're here, I'm almost at a loss for words.
Don't think System or the Rangers will help you if you get into trouble out here.
You believe that? Like I'm gonna run off without paying. The hell kind of scum do they think I am?
Go ahead, start some trouble. Gives me an excuse to air you out.
Please, enjoy your time here. Ah, a new face. I wonder, is this the face of a brave runner here to challenge the Red Mile? Or simply one seeking a respite from the burdens of life? My name is May, and I'm the proprietor of this establishment, home of the famous Red Mile. I assume you're familiar. Oh? Let's rectify that then, shall we? You will not find a more exciting blood sport in all the settled systems. The Red Mile is an exciting and deadly race to the finish for the galaxy's bravest champions. Those that manage to complete the course win fame and fortune. Those that don't are never heard from again. I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have. In the meantime, please enjoy our world's famous hospitality. Well, it's quite simple, really. Once you register with me, we'll have a little pomp and circumstance before sending you on your way out the big red door. Then it's a race to the buzzer at the other end of the course. You'll deal with obstacles and deadly creatures alike, while people up here place bets on how far you'll get. Make it back alive, and you'll stand to win riches and the admiration of your fans. I'm sure you can figure out what happens if you fail. You're too precious! Yes, of course they bet on our runners' lives. We're outside of the colonies and Freestars for a reason. Betting is a huge part of the Red Mile's appeal. How better to make the most exciting sport in the universe more exciting? Repeat runners draw bigger bets. You should ask Donovan how much bets on him were worth before he was forced to retire. Just a little introduction we do to get the fans all worked up. The Red Mile is a spectator sport, after all. Most people don't complete the course, so this is a way to give those unfortunate souls a proper send-off while they can still appreciate it. Of course. And if you're thinking of running, just let me know. I'll be glad to sign you up. A rather open-ended question, but I'll do my best. Red Mile was once a notorious haven for the criminal underworld. Thieves, shipjackers, mercenaries, and smugglers would come here to do business, get drunk, and gamble. I cleaned the place up when I took over. I made it, if not quite a family destination, at least a safer one. Red Mile still offers a unique, exciting experience, but our clientele has improved considerably, and we offer a wider range of services. I was fortunate to be born into a wealthy family. I used those resources to build an extensive network of contacts across the settled systems. Suffice it to say, I had to call in more than a few favors, but with patience and perseverance, I was able to realize my vision. And now, at last, Red Mile is truly a must-see destination for any who wish to experience it for themselves. Because I see the potential for Red Mile to become one of the most unique and popular travel destinations in the settled systems. Because I want to leave a legacy and be remembered for creating something as unique as it is lucrative. Or perhaps it's because, like so many runners who come here to test themselves, I relish a challenge. I suppose there's no single reason. Let's just say that I feel it's my calling. Do enjoy your stay. Things are going smoothly, I trust?
I'm a little preoccupied. At some point, enough's got to be enough.
Ah, yes. I can see how that would put you in a difficult position. Were it any other patron, I'd insist on firmer measures. Mr. Reese, however, is a special guest and may be treated as such. If you feel you cannot in good faith extend his credit further, come and see me. I'll take care of it.
I'll do that.
I know it probably chafes at your sense of fairness, but the reality is that sometimes famous people get special treatment. That's just the way of things.
Yes, ma'am.
All are welcome at the Red Mile. We don't ask too many questions. Ah, a fresh runner! We love rookies around here. No one ever knows how they're going to do out there, so it makes for interesting wagers. But the Red Mile is not for the weak and faint of heart. Do you fully understand that by participating in a run, there is risk to life and limb? My dear, the Red Mile is full of bloodthirsty creatures that would stop at nothing to consume you, bones and all. The average rate of survival is under 25%. And that's for accomplished soldiers, mercenaries, and hunters alike. It is rare to see a complete novice complete the course at all, let alone alive, with all their limbs still attached. like we have an infirmary here. No, my dear. You are on your own if you are unlucky enough to survive with injuries. In that case, I hope you brought a friend with you to take you to the nearest Reliant facility. Or you can try to convince Lon to put you back together. But he's a much better mechanic than he is a dog. Good. And are you able to confirm that you are of sound mind, not under the influence of any substances, and not under any form of coercion? Need to? No. But it helps me sleep better at night, knowing I'm not sending unwitting participants to their death. We get drunkards, and Aurora fiends thinking they're invincible all the time. It almost never ends well for them. And you'd be surprised how often someone is forced to run in order to pay off a debt or some other ill-begotten arrangement. Very well, then. Step aside and we'll announce your run. After the introduction, you'll want to head down the elevator. Then, you're on your own. Use whatever tools necessary to survive. Run to the beacon and activate it. Then make it back here for your prize. I wish you good fortune out there.
Whatever you have to say, I don't give a shit. Don't think Sistev or the Rangers will help you if you get in trouble out here.
Over other people's falsified. Absolutely revolting.
Please, I have an exciting announcement. We have a courageous new runner seeking fame and fortune in the Red Mine. Do you think this new challenger has what it takes? Choose your wager wisely. Now, who's excited to see how the rookie contender will fare in today's Red Mile Challenge? Open the door and wish him luck, because he's going to need it!
I hope you know what you're doing. Because I'm told that running the Red Mile is nearly impossible. Please don't tell me you're seriously considering making an attempt. See if they've got any weapons or ammo. Something's out there. Oh, that's that.
your best shot. Disappoint us in your first run. Your performance down there was most impressive. I do hope you'll consider competing with us again. I eagerly anticipate your next run. But for now, enjoy your prize winnings!
Something bothering you? Saki? Let's hear it, dear.
I don't make chit-chat with patrons.
have things for you.
It's a dangerous galaxy.
Well, with all signs pointing to the Astral Lounge, I suppose we should take them. Well, hey there. Nice long rest, eh? Picked up something you're interested in. Down here. Oh, how can these workers stand the smell of rotten fish and goodness knows what else?
There you are. I'm feeling a bit better today. Sorry about all that before. The thing is, well, I lost my husband Thomas last week. He supposedly had a heart attack and fell from the upper platform. Of course, that's the official word from Neon Security. I'm not so sure they're telling me the truth. He was almost 70, but according to Dr. Manning over at Reliant, he was in good health. Heart attack, my eye. There's no way that's what happened. You're damn right I do. How that security officer could stand there and tell me Thomas died of a heart attack. Well, it's a damn lie is what it is. I'm sorry, this is my problem. You're just here to shop, and here I am filling your head with my conspiracy theories. Please forgive me. My husband and I opened the shop about 8 years ago. We were hoping to cater to the workers at Generdyne and Xenofresh. The business has had its ups and downs, but lately our rent has skyrocketed, so we've been forced to raise our prices. Unfortunately, the workers assumed we were becoming greedy, and as a result, we've had a couple of incidents with shoplifting and some vandalism. Honestly, well, I'm just trying to make a living. Oh my, you're the first person in this awful, awful city that's reached out to help me. Thank you. The security officer's report said they never recovered my poor Thomas's body, which means they're only assuming he had a heart attack. But instead of leaving the case open until further evidence has been discovered, they've closed the book. I want to know why. The truth is all I've ever wanted. I suppose the proper place to start would be with Neon Security's witness, Tevin Anastas, that pompous ass over at the Emporium in Neon. Just please be very careful. I don't want to end up with 2 murders on my conscience. It was nice speaking to you.
I have something for you when you have a moment. Yes? Fishing for a handout, eh? So long.
Telling you, Bianchi, something's wrong with the boots you sold me. I wear them to the metro. Suddenly, the shuttle runs late. I buy a cup of coffee, and the barista screws up my order. It's like I'm walking under ladders with a broken mirror in my pocket. And the only time it happens is when I'm wearing your boots.
So, what do you want me to do about it?
I want a damn refund!
Fine, fine. I'll take the boots back. Just don't tell anyone you bought them from here. I think daylight's overrated. I get by just fine. Ugh, right. The boots. I hate to admit it, but she has a point. She's the 3rd customer to return the pair, all for the same reason. The boots might really be cursed. Like most of my supply from one of my UC contacts. But after the 2nd customer returned the boots, I got curious and I did some digging. Turns out they were seized from a House of Varun ship. That alone is enough to convince me something's amiss. And risk releasing whatever's inside them? I've seen enough horror vids to know how this goes. I thought about it once, but then I thought better of it. Best not to tempt fate. And besides, they're not my size. It doesn't matter if you believe it. Somebody might, and that's bad for business. Hey, you're a pilot, right? Maybe you can do me a favor. I've heard of a UC station at the far end of the galaxy called the Den. You go there and stash these boots in a crate, and I'll give you credits as a compensation. Believe it or not, I actually tried that. And do you know what happened? Some UC pilot picked up the cargo and somehow it found its way back to my store. No, I wanted the boots gone. But I also want to know exactly where they are. Finally, someone to give these blasted boots the boot, if you pardon the expression. Here, I'll have your credits for you when the job is done. All this stuff is legit. Absolutely. Watch your back out there.
Cool spacesuit.
I've got limited resources. We're doing the best we can here. That's all we can ever do. Oh, you remembered. I'm touched, dear, really. Yes, there's absolutely something you can do to help. All the children seem to have the same stomach bug, but I'm having trouble diagnosing it. Pediatrics isn't my specialty. But one of my colleagues, Dr. Lebedev, is an expert. If I had his research notes, I'm sure I could diagnose the disease and find a treatment. I've seen an uptick in cases of sick children in the medbay recently. They all seem to be presenting the same symptoms, but I can't identify the cause. It isn't serious enough to kill them, but I haven't found an effective treatment yet. That has me worried. He works topside at Reliant Medical. It's easy to find. It's right between Mast and Orion Tower. Dr. Lebedev is always there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'd go myself, but I can't leave the medbay unattended.
The heart of the settled systems, SSNN.
When you do that.
Should you find yourself in need, medical supplies are available for purchase at, if I may say, very competitive prices. Welcome to Reliant. If you're in need of medical assistance or require supplies, I am sure we can accommodate you.
A medical problem Talia can't solve. I never thought I'd see the day. How can I help?
We've been professional acquaintances for a long time. She's an excellent nurse. If the well didn't need her so badly, I'd have offered her a job here ages ago. Sick children. Well, we can't have that. I'd be happy to help. Let's see. A stomach bug. I've treated plenty of those. I keep extensive notes. I'm sure I have something that can help. Ah, yes, here we go. This should do the trick. I've uploaded some of my notes on common stomach issues in pediatric patients to this slate. Please, pass it on to Talia. She can keep it. And give her my best, will you? I hope everything works out for those kids.
Three gunshots this week alone. I guess we know where UC Security's priorities are. And aren't. If you need patching up, we'll see what we can do. Really? Let's see. Ah, this is perfect. I knew Dr. Lebedev would have what I needed. I'll have this solved in no time with these notes for reference. Thank you so much, dear. Really. I couldn't have done this without you.
I read an article about the all-chunks diet.
You've got something for me?
Okay.
Bye.
Unknown vessel. Prepare to submit to...
Wait, I know him. He's the one that helped on Altair 2. This is Captain Young. Please acknowledge. It's nice to see you. Been busy risking your ass for total strangers, huh? We were furloughed on New Atlantis for some R&R. Just got our orders that we're shipping out. No idea exactly where. They like treating us Marines like mushrooms an awful lot. Kept in the dark and you know the rest. How about you? You are giving us a run for the money. Do I have to? Fine. Private Psy says hi. No more passing messages. Decorum, Marines. So, Commander
Everyone signed off on our unauthorized training mission. Sadly, lost some men, but training accidents happen to the best of us. Captain Torres got promoted. Sent us a goodie basket. Most of it was confiscated by customs. But there was a keg of good Aquila City beer. We raised a glass in his honor. Actually, more than one. I stand by it. You'd make a hell of a Marine. But, damn proud to know you two. Command's shipping us off to parts unknown. But would you accept a final parting gift? It's a nice thought, but the galaxy's a big place. A lot of good people owe you their lives. Maybe one day some of us can return the favor. Young out.